I will be taking this session for you all. And let us begin. Many students do face problem in verbal ability and reading comprehension. So I planned this session for this. Last Sunday also I conducted this session, and maybe some of you might have attended it. I don't say, just let me check. No, I think no one has attended from this list, but I am again conducting this session. This is the second time I'm doing it. So if anybody has already attended, if you want to attend, you can do so. Let me start. So what's the session flow? What we are going to do today? We are going to learn the concept of traps. So how to avoid traps set by the examiner. How to read difficult passages. These are the two concepts which we will be discussing, and we will be solving or applying these concepts on actual CAT questions. This is what we are going to do today. But before we start, let us have a look at the VARC section of past 2 years. VARC 2019 and VARC 2020. 2019 was a 1 hour exam. I mean 1 hour per section. So total 3 hour exam. And 2020 was a 40-minute per section exam, total 2 hour exam. So normally CAT is a 3 hour exam, and I expect that this year again they will go back to their normal mode. Last year, because of pandemic, they reduced the time of the exam. So out of the total 34 questions, this is the usual bifurcation. 24 questions come from reading comprehension. All right, and the remaining 10 from summary, parajumbles, and odd one out. These may vary, but 10 questions of verbal ability and 24 questions of RC. This is the normal pattern of CAT VARC section. Last year it changed to 18 questions from RC and remaining 8 questions. There were total 26 questions last year in the verbal ability and reading comprehension section. 18 questions from RC and 8 questions from the verbal ability part. This was very, very challenging because in 40 minutes you had to read 4 RC and solve 8 parajumble questions. This was very challenging. Normally you get 5, normally in 1 hour paper, you have to solve 5 reading comprehension passages and 10 parajumble questions. So with addition of 20 more minutes, you only have to solve 1 more RC and 2 more parajumble questions. So that is something which is slightly easier than a 40-minute paper. So I hope this year they move back to their original format. Needless to say that reading comprehension is very, very, very important for CAT. If you are not good at it, then you cannot do well in the CAT exam. Howsoever good you may be in mathematics and LRDI, it doesn't matter, because no other section, no other topic, I should say, has 24% weightage of entire paper. 100 questions of CAT, 24 questions come from reading comprehension. So did you notice that your accuracy suffers because you often choose the wrong option out of the 2 probable answer choices? So most of the times what happens is that we are able to eliminate 2 options, and out of the remaining 2, we mark the wrong answer. That is what students often complain me. And the options usually have a pattern. Almost 90% question will have the same traps that cause you to commit mistake. I think that maybe most of you might not have noticed it. And this is my purpose, to make you understand that questions have similar traps, and examiner has a fixed pattern of traps that they set in the exam, and you are not able to recognize those traps and mark the wrong answer. Right, and this is what the main purpose after the class. Of course, my one objective was to help you understand, or to make you understand the importance of RC. That I have already done. This is something that you will learn to help you increase your accuracy by learning about the traps set by examiner and to help you deal with the difficult passages. So let us begin the class with the common traps. So what do we mean by traps? Traps means in the options, examiner lays trap for you and wants you to commit mistake. An examiner wants you to commit mistake. How to identify those traps? For these things, I have this acronym. This is an acronym that you need to remember. Acronym matlab pata hai na, T stands for something, R stands for something, A, P stands for something, S stands for something. Just remember this acronym and their full form. These are the common traps set by examiner. You will not find it in any booklet. You will not find it in any booklet. You will not find it anywhere else. This is something that I have recognized with my experience, and traps is something that I have devised it myself so as to make you understand or realize that these are the common traps set by examiner. Examiner sets the trap for you in the options because he wants to filter out the well prepared students and not so well prepared students. That's it. And that is why they twist the options. And the usual twist is around this acronym that we are going to learn today. Okay. So I hope you note down these things. So according to me, if you want to remember it like this. Examiner sets the traps and these are the common traps. T stands for true but irrelevant. R stands for rotten words. A stands for empty. P stands for purview and S stands for scrambled. What does these words mean? Let me now talk about each of the trap in some simple manner. So for example, you have 5 options, right? Let me take that usually cat has 4 options. I'm taking you have 5 options. And question, after reading the passage, the question was that what is the main argument of the author? Very common question in RC. What is the main argument of the author? Now, what kind of traps are set? So for example, let me say that option A is the right answer. Okay, but what the examiner does is he creates similar options to right answer, but tweaks it slightly. How does he tweaks it? So maybe option number 2 may have true but irrelevant trap. Okay, option number C may be rotten word, and so on and so forth. So I hope you got the objective that why we are learning this, right? Option number D may have out of purview trap, out of purview. Purview means scope. So all the option may have some trap, and 90% of the questions will have the similar trap that I'm talking about. If you can identify these, you can definitely improve your accuracy. Let us understand each of these in much more elaborate manner. What do we mean by true but irrelevant? It means the option is true as per the information in the passage, but that is not what question is asking for. So whatever option you have, that the information present in the option is true as per the passage. The information present in the option is true, but question is not asking that. So many times we fall into this trap. If I go back and if I show you true but irrelevant, so my question was about the main argument of the author, but option number B may have some information which is true as per the passage but not the main argument of the author, right? Then but what happens is that we feel that yaar B to diya hua hai na, B to passage mein diya hua hai, so why can't this be answered? It is given in the passage. Of course it is given in the passage, but that is not what question is asking you. Question is asking you something else. There is a way to solve each type of question. You simply can't read and mark the option which is given in the passage. That is why you get the answers wrong. You need to understand that for main argument question, there is a different approach. For strengthening the argument, there is a different approach. For weakening the argument, there is a different approach. Right? For the tones, there is a different approach. We do not treat English or the verbal ability, reading comprehension in this fashion. For maths, we are all very worried about how to solve this question. But even for the English, there are ways to solve the question. Unfortunately, very few people can tell you what the ways are. So that is why all the people struggle. Okay, so that is true but irrelevant. When do you commit this mistake? You commit this mistake when you do not focus on the question. Mostly you will find it in general idea question. Now, what are general idea questions? General idea questions are the questions like main idea, tone, title. These are the type of questions which we call as general idea, right? You will come to know more once you start attending my classes more. Those who are CL students might anyways be knowing these things. Rotten words. What happens here? Option is perfectly fine, but for one or two extreme words. And these extreme words I am calling as rotten word. Rotten means sadha diya hai, sadha hua word, right? So apart from one or two words which are very extreme in nature, option is fine. But many students do not check for those extreme words. Always in CAT, in any competitive exam, never mark an option which has extreme word in that. That extreme word can be mostly it is in the form of adjective only. So the degree has changed in the option. Never mark this. When do you commit this mistake? When you do not comprehend the passage to its fullest, then you commit this mistake. Usually it is found in main idea question and inference based question. So inference based questions are tricky questions. Okay. A stands for NT. What do we mean by NT? NT means opposite of what is mentioned in the passage. So option has exactly all the things same as mentioned in the passage, but the spirit is completely opposite. Okay, so it is direct contradiction of the information given in the passage. A very common trap. When do you fall into this trap? When you fall into this trap, when you do not focus on the signal words or linking words in the passage. So each passage will have some signal words, linking words like however, but, yet. You don't focus on these words, you read fast and entire meaning gets changed, right? So that is another trap which examiner said. NT, opposite information of what is mentioned in the passage. Very common trap. P is stands for purview, which in normal words we called as scope. Scope means the information given in the option is outside the scope of the passage. The passage doesn't talk about that. All right. When do you fall into this trap? Usually what happens is that this option will have the same subject as that of the passage. Subject same रखेगा, बट उस सब्जेक्ट के बारे में कुछ ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन ऑप्शन में डाल देता है जो रियल वर्ल्ड में तो सही है, मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल विल नो हाँ ऐसा होता है, बट इट इज नॉट टॉक्ड अबाउट इन द पैसेज. So what happens is that we bring our own outside judgment to mark that option, and examiner knows that people will do that, right? So it may be closely related to the subject, may be plausible in real world, but definitely not given in the passage. This is another common trap which the examiner sets. And S stands for scrambled. Scrambled means mix up. Mix up. What happens? A beautiful thing, and most of the people who do not follow the idea of the passage but simply matches the words, word kya diya hai, they fall into this trap. What the examiner does in this particular trap is he picks up the words from the passage and from different parts of the passage or different lines of the passage and makes an option around it. So the option carries disparate information mentioned in the passage. Disparate means information is mentioned but not in coherent manner. इधर उधर से bits and pieces उठाया पैसेज के और एक बढ़िया ऑप्शन बना दिया, और जो लोग वर्ड्स को मैच करते हैं वो पक्का इस ऑप्शन को मार्क कर देते हैं. ठीक है, क्योंकि वर्ड्स मिलाते हैं ना, कोई ऑप्शन में ये वर्ड है, पैसेज में भी ये वर्ड दिया था, लेट मी मार्क दिस एज द आंसर. This is a scrambled option. Okay, so these are the common traps that examiner sets. All right, now let us apply it in in a CAT passage. All right, we will solve few questions. These are the summary type questions. First, let us solve 2-3 summary type questions. Just read it and see what all traps are there. Can you identify? I'm giving you 2 minutes time to do it. Okay, yeah, your answers. This is a summary type question that came in CLAT. Sorry, CAT. Yeah, I've got only one answer. All right. So I've got 3 answers, and that I think is good enough for me. So what is the main essence of the passage? Always remember how to solve the essence question. When you have to solve the essence question, look for the 2 things. What is the content of the passage and what is the author's opinion about that content? All right. So that gives you the main essence of the passage. So what is the content of the passage? As I told you, there is a way to solve each type of question. Content is rule of law. The passage is about rule of law, but that is half the main essence. The author's judgment or opinion about it gives you the complete answer. So what is author's opinion about it? Author's opinion about it is that he has tried to give the meaning of rule of law. In broader sense, what is its meaning? In narrower sense, what is its meaning? Right? So in broader sense, rule of law means that law is supreme and is above every individual. Fine. Law is supreme. Let me write only 2-3 words. In narrower sense, it means that the government authority may only be exercised in accordance with the written laws which were established by procedure. So in narrower sense, it rule of law means written law established by procedure. Let me look at the options. Rule of law establishes equality in the society between various class of citizenry. Okay. Now, what are the things that is given? Rule of law is given, and it says that rule of law has 2 things: that law is supreme and government should act as per the written law established by the process. Can this be the answer? You tell me, can this be the answer? Yes or no, guys? Come on, don't waste time. Otherwise, we won't be solving more than 3-4 questions. Yes or no? I think that much you can answer. Can option number 1 be the answer? I have just not taught you, just now I have told you what are traps. All right. Since nobody is answering, I'm not saying anything to this. Let us see option number 2. See, guys, if you want to do CAT, if you want to do MBA, if you're not answering, whatever your answer is, don't pursue MBA. Let me be very blunt about it. You won't do well in the college. This is the basic thing that is required from a management graduate. It's better not to pursue if you can't answer. So be it, your answer is wrong. It doesn't matter. Here, anyways, rule of law proves that laws are made by men and can be altered and applied according to the convenience of the society. What has he said? He has said that government should follow rule only as per the written order and law is supreme. Can this be the answer? What trap is this? Can this be the answer? This is anti. This is opposite of what is mentioned. Because he said that law is supreme. And here he says that society is supreme. Third, rule of law states that only such laws should materialize which have been adopted by the society. Again, anti. It says that only those laws which society accepts, those should be implemented. Anti and out of purview also. No way given in the passage. Fourth, rule of law dictates that government should exercise its authorities according to written laws without any discrimination. Narrower sense wali baat. Without discrimination means law is supreme and is above every individual without discrimination. Broader sense. Both the things comes here. Nothing in this option I can say has a trap in it. Everything is given. Answer is option number 4. Now, one can't be the answer because nowhere in the passage we have talked about equality in the society. This is out of purview. Now, why people were not able to confidently say that this cannot be the answer? Because somehow in the real world, we believe that equality in society के लिए लॉ बना हुआ है, तो वो हम अपने दिमाग पर लेकर के आ गए, बट पैसेज में तो वैसा कुछ भी नहीं कहा है. आप ढूंढ के दिखाइए मुझे कहां पर दिया हुआ है. आपको इन्फर करना पड़ेगा, इन्फर कर, डायरेक्ट नहीं दिया, आपको इन्फ्रेंस निकालना पड़ेगा कि ऐसा हो सकता है. हो सकता है वाली चीज इज नेवर द आंसर. सेकेंड वन, All right. So I have got three answers, and that is good enough. Let me find out. Let us find out what's the right answer. Again, alternate summary, main essence. So it is what is the content? Content is this, right? Wall-free office spaces. And what is the author's opinion about it? The author's opinion about it is that it did not work out. Isn't it? That's what he's saying. It did not work out. Privacy challenged office workers may find it hard to believe, but open plan offices and cubicles were invented by architects and designers who thought that to break down the social walls that divide people, you have to break down the real walls too. It did not work out as planned, right? Because the planning was this, that open offices will help to break down the social walls also that divide people. So cabins नहीं होंगे, open offices से social wall भी कम हो जाएगी, ऐसी उनकी opinion थी. Modernist architects saw walls and rooms as downright fascist. Modern architect को जो walls और rooms थे वो अच्छे नहीं लगते थे, इसलिए open offices उन्हें बनाई. उसी के बारे में फिर आगे, the spaciousness and flexibility of an open plan would liberate homeowners and office dwellers from the confines of boxes. ये आया switch word, but ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, as I told, switch word. But now the thing is changing, right? That's why we are saying it did not work out. But the companies took up their idea less out of democratic ideology than a desire to pack in as many workers as they could. Now what companies did, architects saw it as something which breaks down the social wall. But what did companies look at it? They liked the idea, but they considered it, we can pack in as many people as possible here. Then the typical open plan for office of the first of 20th century was a white collar assembly line. He is calling it as a white collar assembly line. What do you mean by assembly line? Assembly line मतलब जैसे कार से कोई प्रोडक्ट्स मैन्युफैक्चर होता है, लाइन से आते जाते बोल रहा है, वैसे ही ये एम्प्लॉइज को भी ट्रीट करने लगे. Cubicles where interior designers attempt to put some soul back in, and then cubicles came up because interior designers thought that it is worst. The people are working as white collar assembly line. They are treating people as if they are machines, and then cubicles came up so that they can put at least some soul back. So look how the passage has changed the tone. It has changed it 2 times. वन ओपन तो हुआ कि जो आर्किटेक्ट थे उनका व्यू क्या था, फिर चेंज हुआ कि कंपनीज ने लेकिन उसको ऐसा देखा कि इट इज नॉट समथिंग टू डू, नथिंग टू डू विद द सोशल बैरियर और समथिंग, वी कैन एक्सप्लॉइट इट, वी कैन पुट इन एज मेनी पीपल एज पॉसिबल इन दैट प्लेस. देन अगेन इंटीरियर डिजाइनर्स ने क्यूबिकल्स बना के एटलीस्ट थोड़ा रिस्पेक्टेबल काम कर दिया. ठीक, लेट अस सी. वॉल फ्री ऑफिसेस, इट डिड नॉट वर्क आउट एज प्लान्ड. And what is his opinion? That companies के वजह से नहीं हुआ, companies ने कुछ ऐसा काम किया जिसके वजह से it did not work out as a plan. This can never be the answer. It could have worked out the way their utopian inventors intended. No. Why? Because the passage doesn't talk about had it been see, the passage talks about it did not work out because something happened. It doesn't mean that if that thing wouldn't have happened, thing would have worked out. That is not true. That is not true at all. We need to restrict our thinking with regard to what is mentioned in the passage. I can't say that. I cannot say this. Right? So ये तो पहले ही हटा देना था. This is not the content. But what happens is we infer far too much and make our life difficult. Defend, always mark that option that you can defend more solidly. Now tell me, why will 2 be the answer? Wall-free offices did not quite work. This was out of purview. No way, it was nowhere in the passage it was discussed that it would have worked out. Think. Then second, wall-free office space did not quite work out as desired, and therefore cubicles came into being. The entire thing and why it did not work out is missing here. This is not the entire essence, because what companies did is missing. Answer is option number A. As they became tools for exploitation for the labor. This is very important. Why it did not work out is very, very important, because companies played that role. They started treating people as white collar assembly line, and they crammed in as many people as possible into the workplace. And that is why one is the answer. This is incomplete. True but irrelevant, I will say. True but irrelevant, because it is missing the author's opinion. And this is definitely out of purview. They do not believe in democratic ideology, I cannot say. Nothing in the passage suggests me that they do not believe in democratic ideology. Just in their offices, they didn't believe maybe, but I can't say that they did not believe in that ideology just because in the office they crammed more people. And that is where we fall into the trap. I hope you understood why one is the answer. No, but a utopian inventors का कहीं mention नहीं है. It is something that people inventors planned, that they will break down the social wall. Their idea was perhaps too novel and utopian. That is why that is the answer. Okay, because of their idea of breaking down the social wall and intention of breaking down the social wall by breaking down the real walls. Because of it, we are saying it. And understand, not every word will be given in the passage. You have to understand the idea about it. All right. Understand one more thing, Kritin. Is the passage written to tell you that how cubicles came into being? Is it that important? Or summary means you need to tell why it has been written. And that is why I said, look at the content and author's opinion. Does author want to say that how cubicles came into being because of which he has written the entire thing? Or does he want to say how the things have changed from what originally those who planned and what companies did? If you can identify that, you will always get the main idea and summary questions right. Is it clear? Ritu Soni, you can stop your video. All right, let us solve one passage now. Okay, now before we solve passage, I will suggest you that have a look at the questions. Okay, why rather than looking at the question, listen to what I am saying right now, then of course I will give you time. It will hardly take a 30 second 40-second time to have a look at the question. Why I am saying have a look at the question, because you will be knowing which parts you need to focus more. Understand, by no means I am saying that you need to find out where the answer is given, mark it. That will not work out in the CAT exam. Just that having prior knowledge that from which part question is asked, and then when you read, you can focus more on that area. All right, that is the only purpose. Let us just very quickly scan through what are the questions, then I will show you the passage and then we will solve it. So the first question is this. You don't have to read the options. Okay, of the following argument, which one is least likely to be used by the companies that digitally scan cultural sites? So one question is on the companies that digitally scan cultural sites. वो याद रह जाएगा, ठीक है? Second question, based on the views, one could best characterize Dr. Watral. So second question is on Dr. Watral. So this person might be present somewhere in the passage. I just need to focus whenever he is discussed. Then this question is about Dr. Thompson. So again, there is some other person. Whenever he is talked about, I need to focus. And what is being asked about him? About the copyright of the digital scan. So just remember the keywords. So one question is on Dr. Watral, one question is on Dr. Thompson, one question is on the companies that scan something. All right. Then again, the next question is on Dr. Watral. Okay, fine. No need to look at the options. And the last question is on digital colonialism. So wherever digital colonialism comes, I need to focus. So I need to remember this thing. With this, let me read the passage. This is slide number 1, and then there is another slide. This came in last year CAT, I think CAT first slot it was. So you can read this, and then we will move to next slide. I'm giving you 2 minutes time to read it. Do let me know once you have read this slide so that we can move. All right, guys, kindly confirm. Only Gargi has confirmed me. Okay, so I'm giving 10 seconds more and then I will move to the next slide. Okay, done. Kindly confirm if this is done. I'm waiting for only 2 people have confirmed. There are 8 people, at least 3, 4 more should confirm, then I can move. Guys, if you guys don't respond, I will not move. I will end the session. It's nothing for me here. That's better. Right. So this question number one. Tell me what according to you is the right answer. Which of the following arguments, which one is least likely to be used by the companies that digitally scan cultural sites? So what was their argument? And which of these is least likely that they will? Right. So let us see the right answer here. Okay. Least likely to be used means लीस्ट लाइकली में क्या करना है हमको ऐसा ऑप्शन मार्क करना है जिसमें ट्रैप्स है कोई सा, है ना। मोस्ट हम यूजुअली क्या करते हैं, ट्रैप्स आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और बोलते हैं ये आंसर नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है। हमें यहाँ पे वही आंसर ढूंढना है जिसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है, तो विच इज दैट ऑप्शन? इट enables people who cannot physically visit this site to experience them. They have used that as an argument that scan करके रखा है तो anybody can watch from anywhere. It helps preserve precious image in case the sites are damaged and destroyed. ये तो बहुत strongly बोला है. They have given the examples also. It provides images free of cost. ये भी बोला है. Answer is option number 4. It allows a large corporation to project itself as a protector of the culture. इसमें है scrambled trap. स्क्रैम्बल्ड क्या होता है दिखाता हूं मैं आपको, ठीक है। उसने बोला क्या था, मैं अभी दिखाता हूं ये कहां पर बोला हुआ था। वहां if anybody can help me to locate where the culture was talked about. This is, see, this is given protection of the cultural sites. Yeah, see, here it is now. Critics say that collaboration could be an attempt by a large corporation to wrap itself in sheen of culture. देखो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, they are hiding themselves behind the name of the culture, and what is mentioned here that they will project themselves as the protector of the culture. This is not what company's view is. This is somebody else's view that company will do this, and it is said that they will hide behind it, not protect. So again, this is a scrambled option. उठा करके थोड़ा सा twist करके आपको दे दिया. Question number 2. Based on his views mentioned, one could best characterize Dr. Vatral as being. What is the problem that Dr. Vatral has? All right. So based on his view, one could best characterize Dr. Wattral as view. What was Dr. Wattral's problem? Let us go and see. Okay. This was his problem. Ethan Wattral, an archaeologist and a member of, says he is not comfortable with the arrangement between SciArc and Google. SciArc is an NGO. He is not comfortable with this arrangement. Dash, dash, dash. Wattral says this project is just a way for Google to promote Google. They are just promoting Google. They want to make this material accessible so people will browse it and be filled with wonder by it. But at its core, it's all about advertisement and driving traffic. So he is not comfortable with the arrangement between SciArc and Google. He says that Google is just doing it for the sake of advertisement and building traffic. Now, which option will you mark? Mark that option which you can defend solidly. उस ऑप्शन को मार्क करना जो ज्यादा सॉलिड वे में तुम डिफेंड कर सको. अब बोलो क्या मार्क करोगे? वन की थ्री? आंसर इज ऑप्शन नंबर वन. He has criticized it, not comfortable. Why not three? Because the passage talks about advertisement and traffic. And here I am talking about marketing of images. Marketing of images. It wasn't about marketing of images. Google was trying to promote itself, not marketing images. For commercial use, I don't know. What has happened is I have fallen into this trap that marketing is equals to advertisement, which of course is not reality also. Marketing is not equivalent to advertisement. Marketing is a broad term. Advertisement is just one part of it. Marketing includes sales. Marketing includes branding. Marketing includes consumer satisfaction. So many things. Advertisement is just one part of it. It is just that in real world, we interchangeably use them. So this is not the answer. वन दिया हुआ है ना बेटा, उसको मार्क करो ना ट्विंकल. उसको तो आप बिल्कुल डिपेंड कर सकते हो कि इज क्रिटिकल अबाउट दिस लिंक. Tell me one word in option number one that is creating doubt in your mind that this won't be the answer. I will give you two words. मार्केटिंग ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल इमेज, वो तो वो कर ही नहीं रहा है. आर्कियोलॉजिकल इमेजेस की मार्केटिंग नहीं कर रहा है. अंडरस्टैंड दिस. ऑप्शन को ट्विस्ट करके घुमाया है. कमर्शियल यूज पता नहीं. कमर्शियल यूज क्या है उसका? प्रॉब्लम्स. बट आप पता, एग्जामिनर नोस कि लोग एडवर्टीजमेंट का मतलब यही निकालेंगे, तो चलो चेक करते हैं. तो ऑप्शन सेट किया. गॉट इट? Dr. Thompson's view. In Dr. Thompson's view, SciArc owning the copyright of its digital scan of archaeological site is akin to. Akin means similar. So he was saying that the countries where the sites belong, they should own the copyright, isn't it? So this is very easy question. Answers, please. Yeah. Answer here is option number 3. Right? The seizing of ancient Egyptian artifacts by Western Museum. So that's the answer. He was saying that किसी और कंट्री का कुछ है और यूज कोई और कर रहा है, ठीक है, कहीं और पर अपलोड हो रहा है. तो दैट इज ऑप्शन नंबर 3. ठीक है. मार्केट रिसर्च not given in the passage. Content internet not given in the. All three are out of purview. Very simple question. I don't know why only one person answered it. Okay. So what happens is that in this question, answer is option number 3. Because the question is about Dr. Vatral's objection. His objection was never about who owns the copyright. This was the objection of Dr. Thompson. So again, if you look, this is what Dr. Vatral's objection is. Nowhere he has talked about that I have problems with who owns the copyright. Whatever problem he was once was with this arrangement that we have already seen between an NGO and Google. And the second objection is this. Bottrall says these images belong on the site of a museum or education institute where there is a serious scholarship and a very different mission. He says that these images should belong on the site of a museum or educational institute where the purpose is very different. It should not belong on Google. So what will be the answer? Right? Option number 3. I hope you are getting it, guys. I am not getting response. Tick, done. Digital colonialism, very simple. Critiques, what are critiques referring to by digital colonialism? All right, answers. Yeah, answer is option number 1. Obviously, countries where the scan sites are located do not own the scan copyrights. That's what colonialism means, right? Others, the scanning process can damage delicate frescoes and statues at sites. This was never their objection. SciArc and Google have not shared the details of digitization, nowhere discussed in the passage. Answer is option number 1. So we stop here. I will conduct another workshop on reading difficult passages because I had, I planned it in a 1 hour time, but because of the slow response, it couldn't happen. So next week we may have again one session on the hostile passages. However, there is one announcement that I have to make, and this is the announcement that those who are not career launcher student, only for those who are CL students, no problems with that. Those who are not career launcher student and wanting to join only VARC classes, we are starting off with 15 session workshop, 2 classes every week, starting 25th July. The course will be divided into 5 modules, of each module being 2 to 4 sessions, depending upon of course, the importance of the module. And it is just at ₹1,999, right? So I know that VARC is a problem for many students. Those who are a career launcher student, they anyways get all the things in the classes. This is specifically, for someone who is non-CL student and want to join VARC ka session workshop. I will be taking the classes in the form of the way I have taken it. I will share the questions. The PPTs also later on if need be, or at least the recording, not the PPTs. All right. So if you wish, you can contact us. And in next week, maybe we will be having another workshop on this. So I hope you learned how to identify the traps, and you will implement this in your paper. And if you join this, I will give you several tips on in my various classes on reading skills, what to look for, what to skip in reading, how to attempt different types of question, critical reasoning, and verbal ability also included. Right. So that is it from my side. If you have any question, you can ask. Yeah, Gargi, please type and send me the doubt. It is in my opinion, it will be 3 hours. We have a 2 hour mock because till the time notification come out, we will stick to 2 hour only. Okay. All right.